Matthew 5:3. So accustomed have we been to the well-known rendering of this verse. Blessed are the poor in spirit that one gets a shock to read in the concordant version, happy in spirit are the poor. Happy is quite correct for the Greek makarios, but why the change in the order of the words? And why in verse 8, where the Greek construction is similar, not read happy in heart are the clean? One can see an objection to the kingdom of the heavens being given to those who are deficient in spirit, no doubt which lies behind the concordant rendering. But on the other hand, if the poor one, patochos, is one lacking the means of subsistence, as the concordance defines the word, would it be correct to say that the kingdom of the heavens is to go to those who experience this poverty? Is that to be the ground of their entrance into the kingdom? Surely not. Wrongdoers are often brought to poverty, but this does not fit them for the kingdom. All the verses in Matthew 5 from verse 4 to verse 11 commence in the concordant version with happy are. Verse 3 is an exception, although it has the same beginning as the others in the Greek, makario hoi, happy they, except verse 11, which begins with happy are you, makario este. The problem focuses attention upon the word for poor. Does this word in English always mean lacking in means? The dictionary gives it other meanings, including needy, weak, dear. Such expressions as poor dear and poor soul speak of sympathy and endearment. While it is true that the Greek term in the New Testament generally appears to refer to those who were poor in this world's goods, that is not always the case. We must adjust the force of the word by its usage in a few passages. In Galatians 4:9, the concordant version reads, the infirm and poor elements, where the authorized version has beggarly. Here the word brings before us the idea of being inferior or lowly. In 2 Corinthians 8:9, the being rich and being poor cannot refer to means of subsistence, as we are by no means made wealthy in money or goods by any poverty of the Lord. That poverty consisted of humiliation, and our being made riches in spiritual things. In Revelation 3:17 and 18, we find the same sense. The Laodicean, who thought he was rich, was in reality the wretched, the forlorn, the poor, the blind one, and the naked one. In order to become rich, he was counseled to buy of the Lord gold refined in the fire. Indeed, in the latest edition of the Concordant version, the words poor and rich are here marked as figurative, as is the word rich in 2 Corinthians 8:9. This edition at Matthew 5:3 makes reference to various scriptures in the Old Testament and the New Testament, but unfortunately does not cite Psalm 34:18, which in the Septuagint reads, near is Jehovah to those crushed in heart, and the humble as to the spirit will he save. Here we have tuos tapinos, tu pneumate, the humble as to the spirit, as compared with hoi patocho to pneumati, the poor as to the spirit of Matthew 5:3. We suggest that Psalm 34:18 explains Matthew 5:3, while the latter verse explains Luke 6:20. Happy are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of God, just as Luke 6:21, happy are those hungering now, does not refer to those who are starving, but it is to be explained by Matthew 5:6. Happy are those who are hungering and thirsting for righteousness. James 2:5 is also cited. Does not God choose the poor in the world rich in faith? All these terms refer to those whose spirits have been crushed and oppressed by the evils of the world, who have lost their soul in this age. We conclude, therefore, that Matthew 5:3 refers to those who have been not impoverished in spirit, but laid low in spirit, the lowly are humble in spirit. If you are among those who are hungering and thirsting for righteousness, then ponder well. Truly happy is your state and your outlook.